Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John and welcome to Readings from Ghosts, Ghouls and Other Horrors, Episode 1, The Haunted Cell. In New Orleans, at the corner of Short and Hampson Streets, an old jail was torn down in 1937. The bleak two-story building had been constructed around the middle of the last century, and by the time of its demolition had acquired a tradition of violence and horror. Many a felon had died on the gallows in its grubby courtyard, and over the years more than one person had died at the hands of angry lynch mobs. But much of the jail's unsavory reputation stemmed from quite another source. It was said to be haunted by angry, vicious ghosts who committed terrifying acts of violence during the lonely hours of the night. One was a wife killer who often returned from the grave to knock pictures and mirrors from the walls, to smash basins and knock down the living. His rampages were the fulfillment of a dying promise. Before swinging on the gallows, he had vowed to come back and mash everyone to a pulp. Another ghost was the spirit of a murderer who always announced his presence with the faint scent of cigar smoke. It was his habit to hurl heavy objects about in the presence of on-duty policemen. Once at about 3 a.m., he nearly strangled a desk sergeant, flinging him to the floor and leaving ugly bruises on his throat. But strangest of all the ghostly occurrences in the old 9th Precinct jail were the horrors in Cell 3. No prisoner could spend a night there without being found in the morning half insane and looking as though he had almost been beaten to death. Yet there was no other sign of a struggle, nor had anyone outside the cell ever heard a sound. One prisoner who managed to survive a night with his mind intact insisted that the cell was full of ghosts as clammy as frogs, giggling, chuckling, gurgling ghosts. They oozed through the bars, he said, like thick gobs of gravy. They clawed at his clothes, dug at his eyeballs, and twisted his elbows. They chased him, they kicked him, they stomped him and squeezed him, finally cracking him over the head with a beam and dragging him about like a rag. What none of the prisoners knew was that many years before, 3 vicious murderers had been locked together in Cell 3. A misunderstanding arose and they began to fight. Like wild beasts, they fought all through the night. By morning, 2 were dead and the 3rd lay dying. Although the jail has been gone since 1937, there are still old-timers in New Orleans who swear that some of its restless phantoms are still wandering aimlessly about the neighborhood, waiting, searching, and sometimes even striking out at an occasional victim. Thank you.